All right, welcome, welcome. If you're joining me live on Facebook or on YouTube, feel free to say hi. I know this is very impromptu, but let's see how this goes. Can I see the chat here? Can't see the chat. Hi, Sylvia. Hello, Joe. It has been a while. Welcome, welcome. So we're live on Facebook. I know we're live on YouTube too. And we will get started shortly. Okay. Just getting a few things ready for the live stream. Okay, perfect. All right, so today it was very impromptu. So yesterday, I sent out an email for everyone who's on my email list to let people know of a brand new offering that I'm wanting to introduce. It's so brand new. In fact, it's not even on my website just yet. But here's the good reason to be on my email list. If you're not there already, there are announcements that I give not publicly, right? So if you want to be in the inner circle to get any newest updates or news or announcements, get on my email list. And how you do that, you just, you can either get on my certification wait list or my feng shui video series training, all those free trainings. That's one way for you to get in on it. Or you can hold on. Yeah, okay. And that is how you get on my email list. Sorry if I'm looking a little distracted. It's because I have like 3 different devices here. And so on today's live stream, can't clearly hear you. Can I clear my throat? Is anyone else able to hear me? Let me know. I know I am coughing, but I'm not like sounding all garbled or anything, am I? Anyway, so yesterday I sent out an email with regards to a high dimensional home auric clearing. Okay, everyone else can hear me. Perfect. And last night and up until today, I've gotten so many interests, tons of registrations, and also a lot of questions. So I thought instead of just emailing people back and forth, I can still do that, but a live stream for me to just kind of go through all these questions, great questions, by the way, that I forgot to put on the registration page. And if you have any additional questions about how Auric home clearing works, feel free to let me know, either as a comment, and then I'll take care of it. So, excuse me. In the last live stream, I talked about auric clearing, right? The 15-dimensional, the 15 chakra clearing. And believe it or not, anything that has energy has an aura, has an energetic field around it. Even plants, there are scientific devices that can detect the energetic field of a plant. Animals have it, we have it, our homes have it, okay? And so yesterday's email was me offering, I think, my first completely, actually my second, my second completely non-feng shui offering out there, in that I announced on June 23rd, I believe at 10 a.m. Eastern, I will be doing a session to clear people's homes energetically. And I know you guys have probably heard of, home clearing and all that, like using sound healing, or using incense, or using sage, like smudging, Palo Santo and all that. That's all good. But I have come to realize that ever since I started doing auric healing last year, and also starting to do it with the members of my my Platinum Manifesting Code group members, I realized just how absolutely powerful this is as a clearing and healing. And for those of us who care about our spiritual ascension, part of our ascension tool as well. And I know, so if you guys haven't seen my last live stream about the 15th dimensional chakras, go back to that. It's on Facebook, it's on YouTube. But in this live stream, I'm taking it a step further, that instead of using the tools to clear a person's aura, which I will be offering starting next month, I'm using that tool to clear a home. Now, let me show you something that happened to me personally with this house. So we moved into this house January of 2020, just a couple of months before COVID lockdowns. And this is it's an older home. I believe we just passed 100 years for this house. And this neighborhood is an old neighborhood as well. It's actually one of the oldest neighborhoods in Toronto. It was established in the 1700s. And this neighborhood also had seen a lot of trauma and drama, especially during World War I, World War II. And in fact, just maybe 20 steps away from my front door is a memorial park where we remember the fallen soldiers, everyone who died in World War I and II. And so when we first moved in, my younger daughter was afraid to sleep. She says, I don't like the dark. But in our previous place, she had no issues sleeping in the dark. But in this house, she was really scared. And then as we moved in, we were doing some renovations. So I had guys in the basement doing renos in my basement. And then the owner came by just to check on, the progress. And he said he heard a door open. So he asked the guys, he's like, is the owner upstairs? They're like, no, the owner's gone. And he's like, but I heard a door open. That's why he thought I was in the house. And then third time, actually, I have two more. Third time, I heard noises in the kitchen. I was asleep. It was at night. I was asleep. I heard noises in the kitchen. This is maybe the first week we moved in. And I thought maybe one of my daughters went down to the kitchen to have a drink of water or something. So the next morning, which they don't do really. So the next morning I asked my daughters, did you come down to the kitchen last night? They said no. And then I opened the fridge, like in the cooler section. I found a bottle of champagne. And I was like, that was weird. I asked my husband if he bought it. He said no. I asked my contractor if he bought it for us, because, you know, maybe as a congratulations, you got the house kind of thing. He said no. I texted my real estate agent if she left it after our offer was accepted. She said no. Till this day, I don't know who left the champagne. No, the fourth one is the freakiest one. My daughter was on the phone with her friend and she forgot something. So she put it is an iPhone. She could have taken the iPhone with her, but she didn't. She just left it in her room. And she came downstairs to grab something. When she went back to her phone, her friend was like, hello, Miriam, are you there? And she's like, no, I told you I went to get something. And the friend said, well, that's weird, because I heard someone breathing on the phone. That's when my daughter freaked out. She was like, Mom, Rachel heard someone breathing on the phone. There's no one else in that room. And so that was when I realized, okay, I need to look into this. One, it's an old home. Two, it's an old neighborhood. And three, I don't know what happened in this house, right? Prior to the 100 years to us moving into this house. So this was before, excuse me. We have fire going on, forest fires. Well, not in Toronto, but we have smoke. So I think my cough is coming back. Sorry about that. Anyway, I had the home cleanse, and not just the regular incense or smudging or whatever. I had someone do clearing, and it was done remotely. It was done absolutely remotely. And then that was it. We had no issues with that after all. If anyone's got any situations like that in your home, put it in the comment, because I want to know, right? And I also remember another situation where someone I knew was house hunting, and she went to the open house with her younger son, right? Under 7 years old. And when they were about to leave, she was calling out for her son, and the son came out from the basement. And she was like, what are you doing in the basement? And the little boy said, oh, I was just talking to the old man downstairs about the house, about us wanting to buy the house. And the real estate agent said, there's no one else in the house. So, and even in my manifesting code group, sometimes when I do Akashic sessions with the group, I tune into the energy of the group. And one time I was like, I'm sensing a few of you guys are not sleeping well. And in fact, it feels like there are entities in your bedrooms that's kind of stopping you from sleeping well. And a couple of the members afterwards, usually when I do Akashic healing like that, I would get messages or emails and said, oh my God, that's like totally my situation. There was so they were like, yeah, that was me. My daughter, I got an email, or was it a message? My daughter couldn't sleep because she thinks someone is in the room with her. So it's things like that. So, so that's what a home clearing does. It's especially the high dimensional auric home clearing, it's a deep clean. Deep, deep clean. And when I was doing the training for this, I asked my teacher, what about like saging and Palo Santo and all that, or having the priest come in to bless a house? He says it still works, but it's as a maintenance. It doesn't go as deep as a high dimensional auric home clearing. So you can do the home clearing first as a deep, deep clean. Sorry. Actually, my eyes and my throat are acting up. This smoke is starting to really bother. And then after that, you can do the incense, the resin like frankincense and myrrh. You can do your sage or your Palo Santo, your essential oils. You can do that after, as like in between. For the high dimensional auric clearing for your home, you probably only need to do it really one time. Like for me, I just had to get all the non-human being energy out of the house, and then they never came back. However, if you have a situation in your home where it's high stress, like maybe you're going through a divorce, or maybe someone in the house has been very ill, maybe there was a loss, maybe there was a death, things like that, then it would be a really good idea to get the home cleansed. A couple of other things, if you're finding it hard, maybe just in this house to sleep, and when you sleep elsewhere, maybe you sleep at a relative's place or a hotel, you sleep really well, that's a really good sign that you need it cleansed. If you're trying to sell the house and it hasn't sold, it's a good idea to have it cleansed. And in fact, when I did a cleansing for the platinum members, I want to say end of February, 2 of the homes that my members have had issues, well, at least one, it was, I think, on the market for 6 months. After I did the home clearing, she got an offer and got it sold. And also, if there are people in your home that has mental health challenges, we're talking about bipolar, schizophrenia, maybe depression, you need to make sure that the energy of your house is really clear, because when they're struggling with that, their own personal aura is weak. And therefore, if you have non-human energy in the house, that they are more likely to attach themselves to those people and then take energy from them. Okay, so one of the questions, and I see it on the chat as well, do I need to be there when you do the session? You don't. I will do it on Zoom, but there's not going to be a recording. You don't really need a recording. And in fact, when I do it for my VIP clients, all I do is I tell them, hey, I text them, like I'm doing the clearing now. And then when I'm done, I text them again, I'm done with the clearing. And that's it. I have, I have a client where the wife, in our maybe 8th month now working together, the wife has never attended any of my sessions. I do have her consent, but never done any, she never attended any of my healing sessions for her. And she still gets benefit from the clearing sessions. I know we were talking about the house, but the Auric clearing can be done on the person as well. I will offer that next month. Okay. Betty says, I sometimes hear people on the roof. And it could be a raccoon, it could be a cat, but it could be something else, right? Dora says, I do have weird stuff going on in my walk-in closet. Lights go on and off and stuff all the time. Those are potentially poltergeists. I'm afraid to go in there when I'm alone. Yeah, okay. Some homes have that energy. But in terms of that question, do you have to be there? No. As long as you give me consent. Now, there's 2 caveats. One, if you want to register for the session, your name should either be on the deed of the house or on the rental agreement to the house. You can gift a session. Let's say your brother's house has like really weird vibrations. You can buy the session, but give me the name of your brother, and also make sure your brother gives me consent to clear the house. If I don't have consent, I won't be able to do the clearing. Very, very important. And that's actually my pet peeve with a lot of energy healers out there. You're just like talking to them and all of a sudden they're like, ooh, I see in your aura something is going, or your heart chakra is really small. Like you must forgive someone. Like you're like, all these are unsolicited advice. All unsolicited, and unsolicited advice is not good advice, right? As healers, don't encroach on other people's will. Give them the information only when they ask for it, only when they're ready for it. Okay, otherwise healers are, I know some healers do it out of good intention, but at the same time, their boundary is weak because they keep giving with no strong boundaries around them. That's also really bad. Okay. My friend is letting me live in his house. Do I need to send consent? Yes. You need to ask him if you can buy a session for his house for me to do the clearing. And I have questions from some of you guys who are parents. Can I buy sessions for my kids? Can you do my daughter's house? Can you do my son's house? Absolutely. But I need their consent. I need their name. So once you register for the session, again, it's happening June 23rd. Once the payment goes through, you send me an email and say, hey, this session is for my son. His name is this, and he gives me consent to do it for you to clear his house. Okay. Now, what happens in a session? The reason why I need consent is that in the beginning of the session, I will have a full name list of all the owners or tenants if you're renting. Okay, this works for an apartment unit also. So if you're only renting an apartment unit, it's rented in your name, and you give me consent, then I'm only clearing your unit, not the whole building, but I'm clearing just your unit. So in the beginning of the session, I read through all the names. I basically invoke all the owners or tenants' higher selves. I connect to all of them, and I double check that I have consent. If I don't have consent, then they're just going to go away. The session will not involve them. Okay. And when I have confirmed that I have consent, or at least the higher selves will know, if they know there's no consent involved, then they're just going to leave the session. Okay. So, and then after that, my role as the healer is I run the 15-dimensional frequencies. I hold the frequencies, and then the higher selves of the owners or the tenants will know which is their house, obviously, because they live there, right? Or they own it, or they're renting it. They will be the one clearing it. Okay. My job is to be the container. Their job is to determine, or to, I guess, to know which entities need to go. Okay. The other question I have is, so yeah, so you don't have to be there during the session, but the most important one is whoever owns or rents the house, I need their consent. That's pretty much it. There will be no recording, because really it's almost like you just watching me close my eyes. Pretty much. The Auric clearing for humans, or Auric clearing for a space, it's very similar, but it's really me just directing energy. How do you know? How do you know that the Auric clearing works? You know what? For some situations, it's very subtle, in that maybe you start sleeping better. In that, oh, I got one where someone in here actually on the live stream emailed me, or was it a message that says, Sabrina, ever since you started doing the Auric clearing, even I think my bathroom has less mold. I don't know if I can call out your name, but like just things like that. You just have to be really aware of what's going on in your house, right? So it's things like that. For me, obviously, we don't hear sounds anymore. We know whatever energy that is here is purely our energy. And that's peace of mind for me. Okay. I'm trying to think what other things, like for auric healing, obviously it will be different, because when I do auric healing on your personal energy, it will be easier for you to sense and feel and see the difference. But when I do it on the house can't tell you, but you can just like observe. Okay. Can I use the practice to clear myself? No, because you guys won't know the steps in the clearing. Yeah, so it's not a training, by the way. It's a done for you. This is not a certification course. You will not know the process that is involved in the clearing. Okay, because some people ask me if this was a training session. I'm like, no, I'm not teaching you anything. I'm just connecting. I'm closing my eyes. I'm running my frequency. I'm connecting to the higher selves who are connecting to all the homes, and I am just redirecting chi. If you are sitting on the Zoom, you're literally just watching me do this for 45 minutes. Literally. Okay. So it is a one-time event. Okay. And you don't need it all the time. Again, unless something is happening in your household consistently. Even then, you probably only need to do a clearing every 3 months if it's like pretty dire in there. But if you want to do a maintenance, you only need to do the auric home clearing once a year. Okay, it's really, like I said, it's really like a deep clean. You know how you go to the dental hygienist to do a deep clean, right? Does that mean after you're done with the dental hygienist, you don't do your daily brushing morning and night? No. So the saging, the smudging, the incense, the essential oil, or even your prayers asking for Archangel Michael or whatever to protect your home, that is you brushing your teeth. Okay, the deep clean is the auric healing. You do not, it doesn't matter if, when I'm doing it, it doesn't matter if you're traveling, if you're sleeping, if you're at work, it doesn't matter. Once you register and I have your name, assuming you either own or rent it, right? And I have your consent, that's all I need. You guys don't need to be in the session. Okay. Yeah, so it was Betty. It was Betty that let me know that after we started doing the auric clearing, that her bathroom has no mold anymore. It's just things like that, right? Yeah, I think actually those are the main questions. Yeah, it is a little bit different with auric clearing for a person. Again, if you're on my email list, you're going to get that next month. Okay, I will announce it when I'm ready to do that one. So basically, the format is pretty much once a month, I will offer an auric clearing. So this month is auric clearing for the home. Next month is auric clearing for the person. And I remember after my very first one, okay, my knee pain that I've had since I was 19, 20 went away, which was great. I don't feel old anymore. I remember thinking I was in my 30s and I had trouble going up and down because the knee pain was really acting up for some reason. And I felt like I was 70. Like I'm in my 30s. Back then, I really shouldn't have trouble going up and down the stairs. But after my first auric healing, that went away. My cycle balanced out. With me doing auric healing for my husband and my daughter. Not to say there's no more stressors in their life, but they're able to manage the stress a little bit more because their energetic field is stronger, right? It's just little, I don't want to say little things, but I know a lot of my members, after I did the auric clearing for them, there's better boundaries, there's healthier boundaries. As in like, I get people saying, Safrina, before I had a hard time saying no to people or voicing out my opinion or my thoughts. And after the auric clearing, the voice, the throat chakra is stronger. or your heart chakra is stronger, there's more self-love, more self-acceptance, self-forgiveness. What are the other common themes is that, being, intuition is stronger. You're starting to see things that you've never seen before. It could be like one of my members who did the Auric clearing. He said he started to see things out of the corner of his eyes, and that's actually your clairvoyance, the clear seeing, the clear vision, because the whites of our eyes are actually more susceptible to pick up subtle energies than our iris. Okay. And then oh my gosh, like the personal auric healing is just, it's just mind-blowing. And every time I do it, people just come back with like different results. So I can't say, oh, you're going to feel this, you're going to feel that. Everybody feels differently, because again, it's your higher self. I connect to your higher self. I run the energy. I usually just visualize everyone's higher selves just like in a row in front of me, and I just direct energy out to them. And so I'll be offering like auric healing around actually karma, because what is karma? Karma really is just stuck energy in our 15-dimensional chakras. Okay, I'll be doing that. I'll be doing energy auric clearing for trauma. It could be relationship trauma, financial trauma, past life trauma, childhood trauma, womb trauma, PTSD. So if you're not on my email list, you are not going to get these announcements. Okay, but if you are getting my emails, then watch out for this, because I will be doing these announcements via email. Okay. Do we send? So when you guys register, I actually don't even need your address, because your higher self knows where you live, right? Unless you have 3 different addresses. And if you own 3 different homes, then I guess you get a bonus. You get all 3 places cleared. Okay. Would you need both my and my husband's consent since we both live there? You both live there, but are you both on the deed? If both of you are on the deed, I just need one of you to give me consent. It doesn't have to be both of you. Okay. I was in and out of the session because I'm getting a call from work. Do I need anything to do this? You just need to register. You don't need to prepare for it. Obviously, with you giving me consent to do the auric clearing for the house, you already acknowledge that it's happening June 23rd, 10 a.m. Eastern time. You don't need, you can join me on Zoom if you want, but really it's you watching me sitting with my eyes closed. I kid you not, but I know most of you guys are like, I wonder how she does this. I want to make sure she does this. I get it. It's $88. I get it. So if you want to see me do it, it will be like this. Okay, maybe you'll see expressions on my face as I'm like trying to push more energy, or something's being really stubborn, not wanting to move. You guys might just see my facial expression change a little bit. Maybe I'm moving my hands a little bit, just pushing more energy into the grid. You don't need to prepare anything for it, honestly. Can this also be used for commercial building? I have my real estate office, half of a 2,000 square foot building. Yeah, you can, as long as you have the power to give me consent. Dora says, okay, I'm gonna make this one. Wait, have you guys been looking at my screen this whole time? Oh my gosh. You're just seeing my little thumbnail this whole time? Hold on. Let me try to fix this. I don't even know what's going on. Oh, no one said that. Okay, I have no idea what's going on in my screen. This is so weird. Okay. Anyway, um, oops. Give me a second. Hold on, you guys. The power of the beauty of live streaming, technical glitches. So, okay. Dora said, I did the Auric clearing last weekend and it is powerful. Oh, I dreamed with my best friend's father who died recently to give her a message. She confirmed she was asking from him. What? You didn't tell me this? Okay, we got to talk after this, Dora. That you didn't share this last weekend when we did the retreat. That's awesome. Yeah, with the aura clearing for the person, you will find that your connection to the divine starts getting stronger. You're going to start getting your intuition's getting stronger. You're going to start feeling what do you call that? Your dreams are probably more vivid. Your gut instinct is louder, just things like that. And it's living life that way, led by guidance, divine guidance, is just absolutely amazing. What if I live with somebody else's house and I own another house? Is it only if I own the different places I live? So yours is a tricky situation because you're not even renting from your friend, right? So if you're renting from your friend, then you would have the power to give consent. If you're not, then you have to get your friend to give me consent to do so. Easy. Okay. When you say if you own 3 properties that are all clear, does that include properties that are commercial as well as that one person owns, or only where they live? This is actually an interesting question because I haven't done it for multiple locations. I want to say we can focus on one, but you're going to get like trickle down benefit for, let's say if you own 3. You know what? I just got an answer. The higher self says, let's say you own 3. The higher self would decide which of the 3 gets the healing. It might not be the one that you live. It might be, let's say, the commercial space that needs more healing. So, but then if you do own 3 and you register for 1, and if you're asking me, like, let's say after the session is done and you ask me, Safrina, which of the 3 got healed? I would say, I don't know. Because when it's done in a group, and if I get feedback, most of the time, I don't know where that's coming from. If it's a one-on-one clearing, which I'm not planning on doing right now, because that's a lot of work. If it's one-on-one clearing, obviously, if the higher self says, okay, this place has issue with this, then I will know it's that specific place. But if I'm dealing with 100 homes and I'm hearing a voice that says, this house has an issue with such and such, I wouldn't be able to pinpoint whose house it is. I just know that one of the homes in the group would have an issue with that. And those in my manifesting code, when we did the group calls, that's how I do it, right? When I get feedback, oh, someone has an issue with forgiveness. Let's say somebody recently just said something very hurtful to you and you find it really hard to forgive. Again, because it's a group call, I don't know who it's from. And it's usually from a message or an email after the session that people confirm that it was them. Yeah. I currently live with my sister and also spend a lot of time with my boyfriend. Do I need their consent to do this? I would love to clear both homes as I feel uneasy about both houses. You need their consent for sure. And it would be, if it's your boyfriend and your sister, then you need 2 separate registrations because it's 2 separate higher selves, right? Your boyfriend's higher self cannot do the clearing for your sisters, and your sister's higher self cannot do the clearing for your boyfriend. Your higher self only deals with what is your energy. Okay. Do we need to list the name of all the homeowners or just one? Just one. So if you're one of the owners, that's all I need. Okay. Is the consent done by them signing a consent? No, just verbally. That's it. Oh my gosh, I don't want paperwork. And I don't need it. I don't need paperwork. I just need them to know that I'm doing it. So if someone owns more than one property, we can't specify the property in this group setting. You can if you want to. But again, those of you who have done group calls with me before, sometimes the higher self or the guide would say, let's say out of the 3, you want your home to be cleansed. And the higher self would say, you know what? Actually, this other place needs to get cleansed more than the home. And usually the higher self will override your what you want. Okay, because they know what needs more work done. Okay. Auric clearing is definitely elevating my spiritual journey to the several next level. My overall health, my energy, all are amazing. Yes. Well, still, those in my my VIP clients, sometimes they don't even know if I'm doing healing for them. Like over the weekend when I did the retreat for my fertility program, for day 3, when we did the heart chakra clearing, I actually added a couple of additional names that are not in the retreat. And then Monday morning, I got an email or a message, sorry, Facebook Messenger. Monday morning, I got Messenger and said, and this person told me, oh my gosh, I'm feeling so relaxed right now. And she, over the weekend, she went to church. So she said, maybe it's because I went to this special little church. And I said, well, it could be the church, or it could be the clearing that I did for you on Sunday. And she was like, oh, you did clearing for me? I said, yeah, I did. So those in my VIP circle, they get all the clearings, like Sylvia and, you know, a handful of other people. They get all the clearings, and they may or may not even know that I do it, because once they give me consent to do healing, it's just a one-time consent. I use that same consent over and over again to work on their chakras, work on their trauma, worked on, I haven't done DNA healing yet, but I will be doing DNA healing. I'll be doing shadow work healing. I'll be doing all these things. Yeah, okay. And like I said, you don't even need to be there. You don't even need to know I'm doing it. Yeah. What if a person is 1 of 5 part owner of a commercial property? Do they need the consent of all owners? Just 1. Actually, 5 is a lot. 5 is a lot. If it's just 1 or 2 more, I'd be okay with just 1 consent. But if it's 5, and it depends on how big, if you're the main owner, let's say if it's 5 owners and 1 holds 50%, the other holds like maybe 10 and, you know, 5, whatever, right? Then I need the consent of the 50% owner. You know what I mean? Whoever has the biggest share stock or shareholder, the largest shareholder, that's the consent that I need in that case. Okay. How do we become VIP? You can message me. Actually, yeah, I have a feeling you might ask that. Right now I only have 4 or 5 that are in the VIP circle. Okay. I think that's all the questions. Again, I am so sorry that this whole time you were seeing me as a little thumbnail. Hopefully, Hopefully I have a different version of the recording. If not, it's just gonna be audio. All right. So any other last questions about the home clearing? If not, you can email me, message me, or put a comment under the video, either on Facebook or YouTube, and then I'll take it from there. If you haven't registered, now, right now it's $88 because I want to keep it, because this is a new offering for me, I want testimonials, right? This is the first time I'm opening it up, at least to my mailing list. If you want to register, you register at bit.ly/Auric home clearing. Joe says, this is so exciting. I'm so glad you're offering this to us. Big hugs and lots of joy. Thank you so much. Yeah, bit.ly/Auric home clearing. It's $88 now for the home clearing. But once I get testimonials that I can put on my sales page, it's going to go up. The next home clearing session will be $188. There's no follow-up video. There's no recording of the session. You're paying for me to do the clearing. That's what the registration is for. Okay, being very clear with that. You don't need the recording. What is, Rowena, what is the recording? The recording is this, of me sitting, closing my eyes. And what's the follow-up? I can do, you know what? I can do a follow-up, but I don't know which house it is referring to. I could, right? I can say some of the higher selves are having or had a really hard time getting entities or closing a portal. So we took maybe 15 minutes just closing the portal. But then, is it your house or is it someone else's house? I don't know. All I know is the feedback from the higher self saying, wait a minute, before we get to the next step, we have to close a couple of portals in some of the houses. And I'll just be, okay, that's it. I keep holding energy. I keep running frequency. So if I do a follow-up report, maybe not a video, but just a report, maybe, or if, you know, and then maybe you'll say, you'll realize, hey, after that, I sleep really well. So maybe the portal was in my home. But I can't give specific, unless it's a one-on-one clearing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I need you guys to be really clear of this. I don't want the expectations to be something that I can't deliver, because that's just not how it works. It's not like, oh, hire self for 123 Apple Street here. This 123 Apple Street has this situation going on in the house. They don't tell me that. They don't give me that much info. And even sometimes I don't hear it in words, I see it in visual. Like over the weekend, when I did the retreat, I just saw, you know how, and some of the ladies laughed, because I said there was something stuck in the aura. It's like chewing gum that's been hardened on the pavement. And then I could see the higher selves, like using the scraper, trying to scrape that chewing gum off of the pavement. That is the analogy they're giving me about the blockage of someone in the group's aura around a certain trauma. But who it is, I don't know, because I had like 16, 18 ladies registered for that, right? So how do I know if there are any issues with the homes? It depends on how well you know your home. And it also depends on how observant you are. Like the ones who come back to me with great reports, they're very observant. Every little thing jumps up at them and say, oh, that didn't happen before the Auric clearing, right? Or if you're not, let's say you have pets, but you're not observant. You don't realize your cat or your dog doesn't go to a certain corner in the house because they feel uneasy about that corner. Maybe it's a portal. What is a portal? A portal is like a doorway for beings from other dimensions, other parallel worlds to come through, it's like a highway, right? If you're not observant that your pets don't go to that corner in the house, after the home clearing, they start going to that corner in the house because the portal is now closed, it's gone. You wouldn't even be aware of that shift. You know what I'm saying? So, so that's the thing. In terms of how much you will see or feel the difference after the clearing really depends on how observant you are as the person using that space. Yeah, that is your job as the person registering for it. My job as the energy container to run the energy, and my job to connect with your higher selves for them to do the clearing with me. Okay, so Jean, I sent out an email for everyone, so look out for my email on that. It's happening January 23rd. Again, you don't need to be on the call. I don't even need to do a Zoom, but I know you guys want to see me work, want to make sure you're paying for something. I don't want, oh, I'm paying $88. What if Sabrina's just sitting on her bum and not doing anything for it? I know some of you guys are thinking that. Right? So again, you don't have to do this you don't go to your dental hygienist every day, right? You do it once a year. If lots of things are happening, maybe once every quarter. That's kind of maybe a little too much, maybe once every 6 months, right? To do the deep clean. And then you guys do the saging and the smudging and the incense and the essential oils and the praying over your house. That one you do in between the deep clean. Does that make sense? Okay, so again, bit.ly Auric home clearing, if you guys want to get that done. June 23rd, I'm doing it as a group. Okay, so can you just imagine? It does take about 45 minutes, but that 45 minutes of me holding energy, that's important job. So yeah, so I also need to prepare myself for that session, because that would be, I don't want to say intense, but it's focus. Yeah, it's focusing the energy. That's the most important part. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me on this live stream. Hopefully now things are a little bit clearer in terms of how it works. And it'll be very similar for Auric clearing for the personal energy as well, which will happen next month. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Take care.